Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast. We're playing some modded Minecraft, and check out our windmill up there behind us that we made in the last episode. It's pretty cool. So in today's episode, I think what we'd like to do is go to the Nether, and I was doing some work out here in the back lawn trying to figure out where to put our Nether portal, and I heard just the oddest, craziest thing. It sounded like an airplane flying over. And then right over here, it looked like it dropped something. So I'm going to go take a look over here and see what it was. What is this? Oh, would you look at this? It looks like a parachute and a crate. It says Airdrop Crate. Huh. So somebody must be looking out for us and dropped us a loot crate or something. Let's take a look and see what's inside. Can I? What do we have here? MREs, Star Cola bottle caps. Never heard of Star Cola. Nbc Head Gear. Okay, so it's like a chemical mask. There's some more bottle caps. So these must be used for trading or something like that. I'm guessing. Protein energy bars. Okay, so we've got MREs. We've got protein energy bars. That's nice. So we've got some food. Whoa! What's this? Winchester Model 70 ammo type sniper. No way! Are you kidding me? Somebody gave us a gun. What in the world? I gotta see what this looks like. Oh, F5B. There we go. Wow, look at that. I was actually just thinking about needing a ranged weapon and the fact that we don't have one. Look at that. So we've got ourselves a hunting rifle. That is awesome. Okay, let's see what else is in here. Let's see. I've got a Zippo lighter. Okay, so this is kind of like a survival kit then. Okay, that makes sense. So I've got a lighter, a flare gun. Okay, flare gun in case we see someone and we want to make a signal to them. They've given us 6 flares. We only got 12 rounds of ammunition. It looks like for the Winchester. Let's see. How do you reload this thing? Maybe R for reload. Yep. Okay, it holds 5 rounds. Awesome. So that means we've got 7 rounds left. Well, I definitely don't want to waste them. Let's see what else is in here. So we've got a surplus military jacket. Oh, okay, so we got some clothes. Rugged outdoor pants. Wow, somebody is looking out for us. Somebody wants us to survive this post-apocalyptic wasteland. So instead of me taking all of this stuff out of here, why don't I put it back? Okay. And what is this? Binoculars. Oh wait, binoculars? Oh, that's cool. They're just floating there. How do you activate? Oh wow. Okay. So they really give you a zoomed in distance. Well, that's really good to have something like this since we're not using Optifine. And I'm not using Optifine right now because it messes with too many of the mods. Okay. So yeah, and so it causes some rendering issues on some of the blocks. So we've got some cool binoculars. We've got a water trap. Okay, I don't know what that's for. Water trap and a ground trap. Oh, okay, maybe for trapping game. A fishing rod and some emergency candles. So this is really awesome, you guys. This is a really awesome find. Let's see. I'll leave this. Let's put on the gear and see what that looks like. Oh, I've got some Merrill hiking boots. Okay, those. How did they know that was my favorite brand of hiking boot? Okay, so let's see. If I take and do my cosmetics armor, I can put the boots here. And pants. Always good to have some pants. Our surplus military jacket. Wow, take a look at us. And then here we have our NBC Head Gear. Let's see if I render that. Oh wow, it's okay. It looks like it's a gas mask in case we need to go into an irradiated zone or something like that. Pretty cool. Looks kind of like the power armor helmet from Fallout. So that's pretty cool too. I love our jacket. It's an old military jacket, and we've got some nice rugged pants and some very cool hiking boots that will do us well when we're out here fending off the attacks from the mobs and going into the nether, which is what we want to do today. And without further ado, let me go ahead and get this silly thing off my head, because we don't need it right now. But I do think I'm gonna hang out with this outfit. I really like it, and it is cosmetic. We're not getting any of the benefits from it, even though it doesn't have very many. It's just cloth, but we're using our armor underneath. So we still have our Tinker's armor, but I think we look 10 times better, don't you guys? Okay, so let's head on back to the backyard there, and I'll make it daytime. And when we get back over there, I'll tell you about what we're going to do with our nether portal. All right, be right back. All right, guys, we're back, and I hope you enjoyed that little role play there. And let me just explain also, so you know, for full disclosure, our airdrop crate, which I'm just going to put it right over here for now. I added another mod to the pack. Obviously, it's Flan's mod, which is an amazing mod. And I basically, just so you guys know, behind the scenes, these are some buried commodities props. These are just stone coins. And I renamed them in an anvil, as well as this Snickers bar and these potato chips to MRE and protein energy bar. But for roleplay, I thought it would be really cool if we got an airdrop. And what I really would love is, instead of sticking with the standard ranged weapons, just to have something a little bit different. So having a hunting rifle that we can use to protect ourselves at range is definitely something that's going to come in really handy. But yeah, that's really cool, and we'll try out some more of that roleplay stuff before too long. But for right now, I'll just leave that stuff over there. Okay, so what are we doing today? Let's get right into it. Here you see my backyard. It's nice and flat. I plan on having some area out here if we need to do some testing, or maybe put some farms, or maybe do a little bit of botania, which is something that's good to have a nice green space for. But right over here, I think, is where I want to put the nether portal. So off camera, I went ahead and did a little bit of work, as you can't see, because I actually did something pretty cool. If you notice that there's no grass or ferns or anything around here, there happens to be one here. That's just so I'll know that this block right here, this grass block, is actually a sneaky lever. And if we hit it, it activates this little wall, which is really cool. I thought it would be neat to have this little hill in our backyard end up being a hidden. I don't know what it is. I'm playing single player. There's no need for me to hide from anyone, but I love making hidden things. I don't know why it tickles me so much, but making hidden things is really cool. So anyway, let me just explain this. This lever actually does power and turn on and off the pistons that are underneath these two blocks right here. So they go up by one block when they're powered. And then at the same time, these two blocks right here, as you can see, this one turned into dirt, and if I leave it open for a long time, these two can turn back into dirt. But if you have it closed for a while, these two grass blocks on either side here will pretty quickly turn these back into grass, so it doesn't look too out of place. But we'll go ahead and open it back up again. And then, so there's just two pistons up here. You can see the pistons there. And there's a little bit of redstone hidden in the wall back there. Those are pretty simple. But these right here, these two were a little more complicated because I had to do a double piston extender. And so I went online and looked up to see how to do that. And I actually found a really cool design that's really simple. And let me just open this up here. This is sky stone, so it's very hard, little tough to break. And basically, I'll just leave that one. So basically what we're looking at here is there is an observer here that is facing down, okay? And the activation is just the changing of the redstone in front of these two observers. But if I just open this up, I think we can get down here. Yeah, yep. So here's the double piston extender, and grass blocks just on top of there on the other side of this cobblestone. You can see it right there. And the way this works is very simple. It is a redstone repeater set to the full 4 ticks, okay? And then this observer is facing so that the redstone output is into this grass block, which will power the piston on the pulses. And it gets several pulses as the pistons move because of the changing of the state of the repeater. It's really cool. So basically all you have to do is activate this and give a momentary pulse to this repeater. It extends the piston, and then this one powers the block so that when this is extended, it extends again, and that gives you your double piston extender. So, you know, as named, as advertised. So that's pretty much it. It just took 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sticky pistons, a little bit of redstone, some observers, and that's the door. Okay, so if you thought that was complicated, then wait until we get down here, because as you can see, I've made just a little staircase, and we're just going to come down, and then we're going to go right into our nether portal. And so the plan is, what I wanted was a toggleable nether portal. And since this is modded, I definitely am thinking about modded blocks. So I went ahead and I set up this project crate with all of the stuff that we're going to need for this project. Now I'm going to go ahead and get out this stuff and the redstone, and then we'll leave the flint and steels till the very last. So there's 3 very special blocks that we're going to be using, and to light the portal, we're going to light the portal right underneath this block right here. And to do that, we're going to be using this block, which is called a mechanical user. Now, in previous versions, I'm not really sure, but in this version, if you use this block with a flint and steel, it actually will trigger 1 block away from the user. So if you wanted to, you could set it up back here, then have a block, and it would still light the portal even though there's a solid block in the way. So that's really cool. But for the ability for us to activate it easily, I thought it would be cool to have it down here underneath the obsidian. So just on top of this, we'll go some obsidian. Now to set this up, we want to have the redstone input put onto pulse, and then we want to have it right click and then use item on block. And I am going to have it on random slot, because what we're going to end up doing, as you can see, I made so many flint and steels, we're actually going to fill this guy up with flint and steels so that it'll have all of those uses over the 9 different flints and steel. So how we're going to activate this is what was the hard part. I actually spent some time in a testing world to try to figure out exactly what the best way to do this would be, and I found that using an observer to send a pulse is actually probably the quickest way to do this. And the way we're going to activate it is right here where this obsidian block is. We're going to put another one of those sneaky levers. So whenever I hit the lever, redstone will come down this way, okay, and it'll go around, and it will actually lower the piston with the observer and activate the mechanical user. So I forgot to mention the recipe for the mechanical user, and it's really simple. It's just a dropper, a lever, and then one of these resonating redstone crystals. And these I've gotten quite a few of just from mining up. There's a random drop chance from mining up redstone when you go down to the redstone level and mine, so you'll pick some of those up along the way. Now the other 2 blocks were a little more complicated. The auto breaker and the auto placer. So the way these are going to work is basically I'm going to have the auto placer down here, and then on this side will be the auto breaker facing this way. And what will happen is we're going to hard power this guy with a pulse from a redstone repeater, and then when we do, it will actually send redstone out, and I can a signal, and I can power 2 pieces of redstone right here, power this block, and then this one will activate right after this, the placer. So basically, we'll break a piece of obsidian, okay, and then we'll take that piece of obsidian, and did I grab the hoppers? I did. We'll take that piece of obsidian and we'll send it into a hopper, and these do have inventories, so you can see it'll pick up a block in here in the breaker, and then it'll send it into the placer. And we can just check that quickly if I grab a block. Yeah, obsidian, which is what it's going to use. Let me get back here. So if I put a piece of obsidian in here, you can see the hopper took it out, and it is putting it inside of here, and then it's breaking it and putting it and cycling, constantly cycling. So you can see and we don't want it to constantly cycle. Right now, the redstone mode is in deactivation, which means these are constantly going to break and constantly going to place. And did I remember? Yep, I got some redstone torches. So if we just use a redstone torch and we right click to toggle, you can set it to pulse. Okay, so now it will not break the block until it gets the pulse. And then we're going to set the placer to the same. We're just going to use a pulse. Now the cool thing is if you have the redstone go into this block and then out again, it's very, very quick. I mean, maybe it's like you know, 1 redstone tick, or you know, 2 game ticks. Very, very fast. Maybe a little more than that, I'm not exactly sure, but it's so fast that it breaks this piece of obsidian and places it back again from the placer. Now, as long as you have 2 pieces, there has to be 1 in the placer ready for it to do it super fast. So let me go ahead and I'll put, so there's 1 here, and then as soon, I mean almost instantaneously, as soon as this is broken by the auto breaker, the placer will place another one so fast that it does not render the fact that it broke and got placed again. So you never actually will hear it go poop, poop or poop. It'll make a little sound, but it definitely, you can't tell that the block is ever gone, and you don't actually get to see the breaker or the placer because it's so fast. So basically all that's left to do is if I put the lever, let's see, I'm gonna take our secret lever, and then when I put it down, whatever block you click on to put it down is the block that it's going to mimic. Okay, so this lever now looks exactly like a piece of skystone, but you can see that this one has no state, and then when I put the state, when I look at with the probe here, it says state off, and you can right click on it and turn it on and off, but it just looks like a regular piece of skystone. So enough talking, let me go ahead and hook this up, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, we're back, and I finished up wiring up down below, so let's head down real quick here and I'll show you what we came up with. Not too complicated. I did have to finagle it around just a little bit. So basically, I'll run you through the circuit. So when this is off, the lever is off. Okay, this is off. The redstone, there's no redstone here. And if we follow it down, there is a torch here that inverts this so that these will be powered. Both of these pistons are going to go up and down at the same time. Now, when this piston over here goes down, the observer will pulse the repeater, and that will cause our mechanical user to light the portal with the flint. As you can see, I went ahead and put one in just so I could hear it click when I was testing it. Now, that's when this goes down. When this goes down, nothing happens with the auto breaker or placer. When we hit the switch again, that will power this line, which will turn off this torch, and both of these will then drop down. And when that's when we turn the portal on. When we turn it off, it's actually in the off state right now. So this piston will get powered, and the observer, it will pulse just briefly, will pulse this repeater, which will send a signal to have the breaker break this block of obsidian. And then we take the redstone from there. We just put 2 pieces of redstone here. That powers this block, which is beside the placer, simultaneously. So as soon as this receives redstone, so does the placer. And I don't know if they did that on purpose or if I just got lucky. But if we watch this breaker break here, when I turn the machine on, you'll hear a click. So that was the portal lighting, and it's very fast, which is what I like. And then when we turn it off, you just hear one action. The breaking and the placing happens so quick, it's very hard to tell, which is one of the reasons why I really like this design for a toggleable portal. Plus, you know, this is modded, so let's test this out. Alright, so let's go ahead and test this out. I'll put a piece of obsidian here, and that will complete the portal. And just to be, you know, full disclosure, I had lit this portal before testing, and I thought it would be better if I did it with you guys here on camera. So let's see if it works. Right now, the state says off at the top, and you know, I did not have to invert this signal. Okay, you could have just used it without this torch being inverted, but you know, OCD, I wanted this to say off when the portal is off, and it should say on when the portal is on. So let's flip the lever. You can see immediately the portal was lit. This says state on, the portal is on. If we hit it again, it's just maybe a half-second delay and the portal turns off. So I played with this design in a creative testing world, and I came up with, I was using a single observer for the signal with a double piston extender and all sorts of fancy redstone, and this was the simplest, and because of that, I think that's why it's so fast. So literally, as soon as I click this, the portal turns on, and then just a half a second, it turns back off again. So the last thing that we need to do is, I've got a bunch of this sky stone, and I'd like to cover this up so that it's all hidden, and should look really nice. So I'm going to put blocks back here, and none of these should interfere with the operation of the redstone. If I did this correctly, you won't even notice it. And let's see, we'll cover this up, and that's that. So the idea is, let's just run through the scenario. I'm going to take these out. It's very dark down here. Very, very dark. Okay, and I want it to stay dark. I don't want it to be any light down there. It's a nether portal, you know. You should look down there and go, wow, what is that? There's nothing. It's a scary dark basement. So let's say we want to go into the nether. And by the way, we haven't been in the nether just yet. So why don't we actually do that? We'll go ahead and go into the nether. So I'll come out here, open up our secret door, head down, and then just at my hand level here is the lever. You can see state off. Okay, and if I hit it, bam, and the portal actually lights up the area just a little bit. Then turn it off when you're done, and when you come out here, just close the door and you're good to go. Okay, so some thoughts on this. I might like to actually make this a little more complicated. I know, you know, it's Minecraft. You know, you're supposed to have fun, and I have fun making these mechanisms and things like that. So what I might end up doing is, I would really like this to be set up to a player detector, so that when I walk over here, I don't even need to click this block, the hidden lever. But I'm not sure about player detectors yet, so something I'll have to do later on. The other thing is, I'd love for this to light up right when you walk up to it. It lights up, and we have the circuitry there so that it could do that. And then when you walk away from it, after you come, I'd like for it to stay on, and then when you come back from the nether and you walk away, it will turn itself off automatically. I would really like for it to work that way. Haven't figured that out yet, but that's enough of that. And it's dark in here. Let's head into the nether and see what it looks like. in FTB Revelation. I'm excited. I haven't been yet, and I really want to see what it looks like. Okay, I'm just gonna move right out of the portal there. Okay, well, that wasn't too laggy at all. And that's what I was looking for. Look at this. Cobalt. We're gonna get some, I'm gonna get these first pieces right here, right now. Because we are going to start making some upgrades for our mining tools. We've got our hammer, which is currently iron, and it's terrible. The durability is pretty low. And also, look at that mining speed. I put Silk Touch on there, and it actually reduced the mining speed down to 1.61. It was 2 point something, I believe, before. But yeah, let's just take a look around here. So we've got Natura in this pack. So I'm not surprised to see some upside down trees in the nether. This is a bloodwood tree. Okay, and over here we've got another one. And let's see. This is pretty cool. I haven't seen these before. This is from Quark. These are, what do they call them? It says Speleothem. But you know, we commonly refer to them as stalactites and stalagmites, but don't ask me which one's which. I can never remember. But the other thing we were after here is some ardite, so we might upgrade our sword to a manilum sword. And look at this, there's blocks of quartz in the nether. Aha, I see why there's an infernal hive here. So in the overworld, when you're mining down in at diamond level, you can come across also some blocks of redstone, and they'll have hives around them as well. I can't remember. I think they're called a resonating hive or something like that. But the other thing that we need to get is the Nether Quartz, and I wanted to mine some of this up because in some of the packs, mining nether ores is dangerous. First of all, with a non-silk touch pickaxe, sometimes it angers the zombie pigmen. It aggroes them. They don't like it when you steal their stuff. And also in other packs that I've played, they have it so that if you're not using silk touch, if you mine the nether quartz, it can actually cause an explosion, which is really cool as well. I do not miss either of those things. When you want to come to the nether and you want to get some quartz and you want to get some, I want to get glowstone. See, this is opening up the possibilities now of other mods that we're going to be able to get into. So this is really great. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time. Whoop, that was a close one. Don't hit the pig man. I'm going to spend a little bit of time down here doing some mining. And when I come back, I'll show you how I made the auto breaker and the auto placer, because we actually had to make another machine in order to do that. So I'm going to get some more of these super juicy, valuable resources. Ooh, glowstone. I'm going to silk touch the glowstone. Yeah, we're going to get us some glowstone. Look at this. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, so I'm going to do that and then I'll be right back. Alright, so that took a little bit of time, which is to be expected. Sometimes these mod packs are a little heavy to load when you're changing dimensions, but there's a couple of things we can do to help that out. Possibly chunk loading around the portal, or using other means of travel like dislocators or something like that, other kind of teleportation. But let's go ahead and click this. It's off, works perfectly. Close this up, and we're all done in the nether. Now I did promise you I was going to show you one more thing. Let's go up top, and that is how did we make the placer and the breaker, because they require special blocks. So here's the auto placer, and right over here is the auto breaker. For the auto breaker you need void crystals, okay, and then for the auto placer you need palace crystals, and both of these blocks require you to make basic coils, which require Restonia crystals. It's pretty simple, you guys. This void crystal is made from coal, and this palace crystal is made from lapis, and the Redstonia is made from, you guessed it, redstone. And all three of those are done by placing the item in the world in front of a machine called an atomic reconstructor. So I have made one of those. Here's our atomic reconstructor. Now there's all sorts of different ways to set these up. I just simply have this one pointing up in the air with a wooden pressure plate on top. And the way it works is, I'll go ahead and show you. We'll make 4 more pieces of the Redstonia. So let me just point down like this. We'll put it here, and you can see this actually is set to pulse. Okay, and that way, whenever it gets the redstone from this pressure plate, it just pulses one time, and the items falling on the wooden pressure plate actually activate it. So this is one of the reasons I hooked it up this way, is because this is one of the ways that you can very easily automate this. Anyway, let's head back down, because I think we should celebrate. And in order to celebrate our successful trip into the Nether, let's fire off a couple of rounds from our Winchester. So here we go. It's got a scope, which is really cool. And let's just fire once. There we go. And then if you left click, it turns off the scope. And you can just sidearm shot just like this with a right click. So there we go. Couple of shots. We've upset the neighbors more than likely. I'm gonna put that back before we get into trouble. And I had a really great time today. I like doing the redstone-y stuff. I love our new outfit. I think we look great, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us here on our FTB Revelation map, our post-apocalyptic Minecraft survival. And I hope you enjoyed the little bit of the roleplay there. But enough talking. I'm see you later, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.